Hey, it's Kim, and I'm back with another 2024 planner unboxing, reveal, haul. That's what we'll call it. 2024 planner haul, and this one is specifically for Sterling ink, which I believe you can see right there embossed on the box. So I was one of the thousands of people, I'm sure, who did the pre-order for Sterling ink when it opens back in June or July of this year. And because I was pretty certain that I was going to be using all of these different sizes that Catherine, the owner of Sterling ink, was going to be releasing, I said, let me just get them all from Sterling ink. They have the paper that I love, which is Tomo River paper. I have been pleased with all of the products that I've purchased from Sterling ink so far. Even the initial or the first common planner that she released in the B6 size, I've been using that as my business planner for the entire year. So I was pretty confident that I would love all of the planners here and I would use them. So now it's time for us to go through them. And spoiler alert, I do feel like I overordered. Or at least, like, since the time that I've ordered, I may go in a different direction. But we'll discuss that. We'll get to that. Okay, so I ordered 5 things. I pre-ordered 5 things. And let's start with the main one. So this is probably the question that I get asked a lot. And FYI, these 2 boxes are empty because I already took them out. So this one is what was housing I got what is called the N1, which is also the Traveler's Notebook standard size. And I got the vertical, so the vertical weeks. So it's basically very similar to what I've been using for the past 3 years. Sorry, I think it's like 2.5, 2 and a little bit more. I'm trying to reach for it. And I just so happen to have both of these out. This one is actually the 2022 one, and this is my current 2023. So this is a Hobonichi Cousin that I cut down to Traveler's Notebook size. So I chopped it right down to be this size. And the point was because I wanted a vertical weekly, which is this, to be able to use for my entire year. And I have the monthlies and the vertical weeklies and the dailies. I wanted everything all in one book. So that's what led me to getting the Hobonichi Cousin and just cutting it down to the size that I prefer. So when Catherine said that she was releasing this, of course I was extremely excited and decided to grab one for 2024, and that's exactly what I did. I've had a lot of people ask me if I'm going to be using the Hobonichi Cousin again for 2024, and I said no, but with a little bit of trepidation, I will admit, because I'm not so okay with leaving the system that's really been working for me. Though the differences between these two are very, very, very minor, and they are things that I tested out before I even decided to commit to this. They are things that I've thought through and in the end decided that this common planner in the N1 vertical size would work for me. However, because I am who I am, I still nonetheless bought a 2024 Hobonichi Cousin. For a few reasons. Okay, so I felt like it was a little bit weird for me not to buy one. I feel like I've bought one for the past 5 to 6 years, and just not having one seems weird. That, just saying that, also seems weird. But anyway, so I did buy it. Also, just in case this doesn't work for me, I have this to fall back on. And let me explain why I think it could, or where I think the pitfalls could be or could have been. TLDR, this is going to work, and I'm going to give it a shot, and I'm going to try it out. But the main thing that I have been concerned about is the weekly vertical layout. Now, I've been using, like I said, a weekly vertical layout, no problems, no issues. However, if you'll notice, when the Hobonichi Cousin is cut down, to standard size, it leaves 6 columns. So I've been splitting the last column between Saturday and Sunday. It's worked out fine for me. Like I said, for the past 2 years, no issues there. But when you're trying to fit a full week on 2 pages, that leaves you with either stacking the weekend, which I know I would not like. I did use a Wonderland 222 B6 size a couple of years ago, and I was not a huge fan of the stacked weekends for whatever reason. I mean, it was enough space to fit what I needed to fit, but the fact that everything couldn't go straight across really did bug me. So I know I would not like that at all. So like if this came out with a stacked weekend, I would not get it. So that wasn't the issue. It is the width of the weeklies, or the weekly vertical. So what I did do earlier in the year, and where is that? So what I did do was Traveler's Notebook makes the weekly vertical for their dated planners, and I took it upon myself to try and do like a sample week to see, yeah, if I would like this. And I assumed it would be around about the same dimensions of the one that Catherine came out with. Let's see. If we line it up, yeah, it's about the same. So each of the columns for the days are about the same. And I took like a layout that I already had done, and I replicated it here to see if I'd have enough space to write across, to see if I'd have enough space for my list that I like to keep at the bottom of my weekly. I felt like this could work. You'll notice in the Traveler's Notebook, they have the calendars over on the right hand side. So kind of like a wasted column of space. In that column you get in the Common Planner over here on the left side. Now I say in the Traveler's Notebook or Traveler's Company Vertical Weekly that it's wasted space, but also in the same token, I have no idea what I would do with this. Like I don't know. I don't like to put like a tracker here because I feel like I would want to see a tracker more horizontal. There's not a lot I can think that I would do over here. So that kind of bugs me, because then it makes me feel like maybe it will be wasted space if I don't fill it with something. And I don't just want to stick down some washi here, you know. So, so I don't know. But I do think overall, oh wow, is this the same week that I replicated? That absolutely is the same week. What are the odds that I would flip right to the same week? Anyway, so that's the week that I replicated here to see if everything would fit, and it does. So though I was a little scared to see if I could fit everything I want to in these columns, because the columns are about 7 boxes wide, whereas the cut down Hobonichi is about 8 boxes wide. Now I will say here, this is 7 boxes wide, however, with the number line. So with the timeline on the side, that's including those 7 boxes across. And because I know myself, I will not write in that box. I'm gonna need space in between. So really, I only have 6 boxes in which to write. Whereas over here in the Hobonichi Cousin, I have 8 boxes to write across in. So that's a big deal. That does kind of decrease it a lot. But the way that I write, I never take up all of that space going across. I really only write within, I think I did about 7 of these boxes. Sometimes, normally around about 6. So am I really going to be missing out on a lot of width across the planner? No, not likely. But I was nervous. I mean, can you blame me? It's, you know, something I've been used to for the past 2+ years. So I just wasn't sure if I'm gonna be okay with it. But I have that backup plan should I need it. I don't honestly think I will need it. So that is the first one. And like I said, I've gotten a lot of questions from viewers on my YouTube channel and people over on Instagram asking me if I'm using this for 2024, if I'm using the Hobonichi Cousin cut down for 2024, and that's where we are. I'm going to give this one a fair shot. And I'm gonna have a video going into depth fully about how I'm setting this up, how I'm using all the spreads. I will even show how they compare to the way I set up my previous ones, the cut down Hobonichi, and compare and contrast like some of those layouts I had over there, especially like for instance the gold layouts, and how I'm going to be using them in comparison to these gold layouts that are included here. So that video will be forthcoming. Speaking of gold layouts, I'll show that to you in the other sizes that I got so that we can move on. So the next one that has an empty box I already opened up. Oh wait, that was for that one. This is the other empty box that I already opened up. And this is it's called the N2 size, which is comparable to the Hobonichi Weeks size, which is also comparable to B6 Slim-ish. Not quite. I feel like B6 is shorter than this. Anyway, so this is the N2, and I got the compact version here. For the Traveler's Notebook size, the standard, I got the full year because I do need and want all of those daily pages in the back. That was I was a little bit concerned about whether or not I would actually have enough pages in here. That is also a thought and a concern that I have worked out some contingency plans that I will set up for 2024, and that's going to be in that video where I'm talking all about how I'm setting this up, how I'm using it. I'm going to show you how I set it up and how I'm going to be using it. So this one though, the week size, I only got the compact version, and it's because I use this for my health journal. So I do have a couple of videos all about that, and I track health and fitness. So I'm using this in the same exact way. And I know that I don't need a lot of notes pages. After I pre-ordered this, I was actually a little concerned that maybe I should have just gotten a regular Hobonichi Weeks, because that only comes with 70 something pages, maybe 78. I can't remember the exact number, whereas this one comes with 121. So for a planner or purpose where I don't need notes pages at all, you know, it's like, do I even need that much? Is it wasted space? I don't know. But I do like to have a planner with a lot of structure, and that's why I actually looked into the Paper Test Designs weekly planner, because I do like the structure that those weekly layouts provide. However, that one only comes in a full year version. I definitely don't need 360 whatever blank pages and something like that. So if she were to release a compact version in the weekly planner size, I would likely have been all over that one. But alas, here we are. Pre-ordered this one. Even though in hindsight, I was thinking, well, maybe I don't need this many notes pages, even in the compact version. I'm going to stick with it. I'm not going to go and buy a Hobonichi Weeks. Also, I prefer the white paper. It's not that huge of a deal, but I do prefer the white paper anyway over the ivory paper in the Hobonichi Weeks. So, getting into the layout, and I believe this layout is similar for all of the planners, unless, of course, you get, oh, well, it's vertical weekly versus horizontal weekly. And this one is a horizontal weekly, exactly like a Hobonichi Weeks. So when we get to the week section, I will show you a comparison of a weekly vertical and a weekly horizontal. So you get the 2024 year on one page. We also get just a 2-page spread of blank grid notes pages. And then it goes into a goal breakdown spread. This is all in detail on Catherine's channel, Sterling Ink, where she shows all of the layouts for all of the planners. But I feel like this is pretty much the same layout across the board, no matter what size you get. So you do get a goal breakdown page, which I do love for this purpose. I love it for my health and fitness planner, and I'm going to put this into good use. I didn't do anything like this for 2023, but I do feel like it was a missing component to have specific goals written down in this planner. So I love that this has a place for that. Also, we get the quarterly pages. So you get a tracker over here on the right hand side, as well as a box to note your main priorities for that quarter, and a box for each month of the year or of that specific quarter where you're on the spread. Again, I will be tracking my workouts in this yearly perpetual calendar type format. That's what I have been doing in my Hobonichi weeks. And I also may break down these goals. Not may, I'm pretty sure I will break down whatever goals I define for the year, break them down by quarter and by month. So that is a great place to be able to do that. And of course, we get a 2-page spread for each quarter. And then it goes right into the monthlies. And the monthlies are pretty, you know, standard. You do get a month on 2 pages. You also get some notes space at the bottom and some note space over on the left hand side if you wanted to add additional trackers or whatever else. And you get the monthlies from December 2023 through January 2025. The weeklies, however, start in January 2024. So even though you do get a monthly for December of 2023, you don't get weeklies for December. Some people have problems with that. I do not. I'm the type of person, I like the full year in one book. So I want January 1st through December 31st all in the same book. I'm not starting a new book early. I'm not starting a new book before the year gets here. I'm just not doing it. So this doesn't bother me at all. And I think that's because I do archive my planners. So if there's information that I need, like I showed you my 2022 Hobonichi cousin. If there's information I need and I very much know it's from 2022, I'm going straight there. I don't like the idea of, you know, if I think to myself, oh, December of 2022 might be my 2023 book. I don't like that. So I want to keep it all together, all archived according to the correct date and exact book in which the events happened. Moving on. So this is the horizontal weekly. And like I said, it's very similar to the Hobonichi weeks. I do have a Hobonichi weeks, and it might be helpful for me to pull it out for you. I'll do that in a moment. But you'll see how they have each day over on the left and a horizontal placement. So each box for the day goes across, and it goes from Monday through Sunday. So it is a Monday start. And then over on the right, you have a full page of just grid notes pages. Gonna go grab the weeks. All right, so here we have the Hobonichi weeks, and I'll just open this up to try to find a blank weekly. Here we go. All right, so opening this up to a blank weekly, and you'll notice they're pretty much the same size. Close enough, at least for my liking. So they are both a horizontal weekly, again with a box for each day going across the page. You'll notice, however, that the Hobonichi weeks does always include a little quote down at the bottom. So that is absolutely wasted space. You can't really write in that section. So it's space that you can't use. So I do love that the Common Planner is a full height page and it goes from top to bottom. And you get all of that space. I also love, if you'll notice, not sure if you can, but in the Hobonichi weeks, that section over on the left actually is blank. It doesn't have grid here. If you see any grid, that's likely from the page, the previous page, but it's all blank. So that bothers a lot of people because, you know, if you can't just write straight, you may need to use maybe like a guide underneath it or a writing board of some sort, which can be a little annoying. But the Common Planner does give you grid on that side of the page. So that is a plus. And when I mentioned liking structure, so I do lay out my weeklies over here in like grids and charts and everything. And I'm going to test out something similar. And I went over this in a recent video where I did my October flip through. So I'm going to test out something similar to the Paper Test Designs layout going forward for the rest of 2023. And I can easily do that over here. I don't think the lines of the Common Planner really impede on using this and, you know, drawing things out the way that you would want to. It's a nice color grid, not too dark, not too light. Some people do find it a little bit light. I actually find it just fine. I also heard that there were differences between the different sizes. I don't know how true that is, but people may have noticed differences in the color of the grids. I feel like mine, these two at least, look pretty similar. And this is a good place to show you what a vertical weekly looks like as compared to a horizontal weekly. So for a vertical weekly, each day is a vertical space. For the horizontal weekly, each day is a horizontal space for your notes and your plan. So that's the difference when people reference a horizontal weekly versus a vertical weekly. Vertical weekly, you have to write in columns, and a horizontal weekly, you can write across the full page. So yeah, that's the difference. So I will be using this N2 horizontal compact common planner for 2024, and the color I got this in might be caramel. I don't remember the names of the colors. And this one is mist. I do know that. It's kind of like a really pretty grayish blue. And the cover is a PU leather. So it does feel leather-like. And it definitely feels very thick and durable. If you can see that. Almost feels like a vinyl type leather feel with a bit of texture. I'm hoping I am showing you. And the one in the caramel color feels exactly the same. And you'll notice I got this one with the gold edging. And this one I just got with the white edging, not gold. So those are those two that will be in my lineup. Of course, there will be a full 2024 lineup video coming. And now I'll move into the others. So there are 3 others that I did order during the pre-order time. And so this is one, and I didn't even really want to open it because I'm pretty sure that I'm going to sell it. So this is the same size as this one here. So it's an N1 size. And this is a compact version, so it doesn't have the full year's worth of pages. It only has 120 something pages, I believe. And yes, I did also get the vertical in this one. So my plan was to use this for my journal, which I've been doing my journal. So it is a notebook in conjunction with. So it is a notebook where I do all of my journaling. And I also have a vertical weekly, the Traveler's Notebook Vertical Weekly, that I like to do my own personal memory keeping in. So I thought, had the bright idea, maybe I would like to combine them both, or at least the fact that I can get this compact common planner does combine them both for me. And I can just have it all in one book. The issue I'm having with that is twofold. And I always have issues. But the issue that I have with this is twofold. I've noticed since I've been doing the memory keeping, I don't necessarily think I prefer a dated weekly. Like I could use the same insert from Traveler's Company, the one that is undated, and do the weeks when and how and wherever I feel like it. I won't feel obligated to fill something in for each single week. I know it's something dated, I may feel obligated to fill in each week. I also may feel a little weird when I skip a week. So when I have just blank spreads, I won't like it. I won't hate it necessarily, but I know that I won't like it. Also, since I've switched to this kind of system to have these two things combined, I actually like the idea of being able to take my journal out. For instance, if I'm going to do some journaling with a friend at a coffee shop, I'm not taking my personal journal. Just don't want to, just in case I lose it. I don't know. I don't know what might happen, and I don't want to take the risk. That would be a little bit too devastating for me. And it's not because these are personal thoughts or anything. I mean, they are personal thoughts. It's not like it's not like a burn book. It's not like things that I would be embarrassed for other people to read. That's not it. The point is they are my thoughts. And I do like to go back through them and review them and see what I was thinking at this specific time in my life and kind of look back over those things. So I would really, really hate to ever lose this. So that's number one. That's a major, huge one. That is why I am not going to put those two into one planner. I've decided. Also, something else that I know about myself, I've always known this. I've always known this, and you probably can't see. This is a dot grid notebook, but I prefer to journal on 5mm dot grid. I've always known this. I have ordered books specifically for that reason. The Common Planner, however, comes in about, I think it's like a 3.7mm grid. So while I can, like in my daily planner, do the whole micro journaling and everything in that size, I do not like to do a full journal page in that size. I prefer the larger grid spacing, whether it's dot grid or regular grid, doesn't really matter, but I like it in 5mm, so I'm not switching. So that was something I came to realize almost immediately after placing this pre-order. I was like, hold up, I don't like 4mm grid for journaling. So yeah, this one's definitely not gonna get used, especially not the way that I intended. So I don't have another use for it. It's a dated planner. If it was undated, you know, I could save it for a time later or something, but it's dated and I feel like I need to just release it to a home where someone will love it, release it to its greater good. So I'm going to sell it on a buy sell trade group somewhere. I'm going to try to sell it. I don't like to sell things. I'm not a seller. I would much rather like give it away, but I don't know. So that's that one. I will box that back up later. Okay. So that's 3 down. And I didn't even open the plastic on that one because I don't know. I don't want my like grubby fingers to do anything to it. Next one is a B6. So this one I was going to use for my business planner for 2024. I'll open this one. I have since decided, and if you've seen my recent video about the Take a Note planner, you'll know that I've since decided to go with the Take a Note planner for my business planner for 2024, primarily because I just wanted to use that layout, that week on 4-page layout. Yeah, that's basically why. And I opted for the forest green in this one, and it's a really pretty cover. It does feel slightly thinner, not really, maybe more pliable than the other covers. Definitely not as much texture. It's very smooth, and it is definitely dark green, even though it may look black. I'll put this black, yeah, next to it. Now you can definitely tell it is dark green. And I did get the compact version because, again, in that type of planner, I didn't need a lot of notes pages. I covered that in my Take a Note planner unboxing and reveal. And I do have this with the gilded edges. So those golds, what am I showing you? So those gold edges, I did order this one in. So it's really nice. And it does come in the vertical weekly layout. And it ends with notes pages, 100 and, I should get that number for you, right? 121 grid notes pages. So that's what this one has in the back of it. So because I'm going to be using the other planner, the Take a Note, I'm not going to be using this one for my business planner for 2024. So again, just like the compact TN size, I don't really have a need for it, so I don't want to just hoard it. I do hoard notebooks, make no mistake, but I don't hoard planners. so I'm gonna just, you know, let it go, and I don't have to hold on to it forever. So that's that one. And then last but not least, this one, this little teeny tiny baby, is the passport size. I'm kind of on the fence about this. So for my everyday carry, which has graduated to be more of like a list, a detailed list keeper, I have been using, or I have it housed in my traveler's notebook and the passport size. So that's how I use it. My plan was to put this in here for 2024 and let that be that. However, then the Nolte 1180, which is what I've been using for 2023, came out. Amazon had it shipping from Japan for $9 total. So I was like, why would I not do that, right? I don't know. This is when we get into that whole consumerism stuff. I talked about it in my journal with me video recently. Just buying stuff, just buying things without knowing exactly why we're using it. But I am very happy with the Nolte 1180. I have zero reason to change that. I really have no reason to change that. Another great feature I like about the Nolte is, you can't really tell because I have all of these covers and things on it, but it's actually slimmer than, well, here you can tell. It's slimmer than regular passport notebook size. So this book in the back is a passport size book, and you may be able to see that it comes out a little bit farther. So I like that the Nolte allows me to fit in a bunch of books and it doesn't hang over the side. So if I had an actual passport size book though, there would definitely be some overlap, probably, likely. So I don't know. But I do like that this does have notes pages included, which the Nolte doesn't really have notes pages. Like, how many does this one have? This one also has the 121. So even though this is a compact version, I don't think there's a full year version of the passport size. 121 notes pages along with the vertical weeklies is more than enough space for my purposes and for the reason which I use this. And my plan actually was to replicate the Nolte weekly layout. So I would do, where, like, if you look at those videos, go back and look at those videos, it gives you a much more in-depth view. But up at the top, across the top, you have a spot where you can write like your daily appointments or whatever, but then down here at the bottom is just grid notes sections for you to use however you want. So my plan, my intention was to do the same thing here. So I would use the top portion to write down any appointments or things upcoming, and then this bottom section just for notes. So that would mean, of course, writing across the width of the columns, ignoring the timetable. I mean, in all of my planners, I do typically ignore the timeline. I don't follow those, so it doesn't matter to me. And I could just use this as notes and write directly across whenever and however. But the addition of the notes pages is a plus for me, because then it would make it so that I would only use this one book instead of having both the Nolte as well as this extra book back here. So just have the one instead of both of them. I don't think for my purposes one is necessarily better than the other. Now I just have two options and I'm not quite certain what I'm gonna do. So do I switch everything over to here? And then I won't have the overlap issue, because I won't need to put in, you know, a few other notebooks back here. I'll just have this in here for the most part, and maybe like a folder or two or something like that. So the overlap thing will not be an issue. So yeah, I'm on the fence. There's no other reason why I would use this if I don't use it for my everyday carry. So there's no other reason why I will hold on to this dated planner and, you know, just not use it and just hoard it for the year. So that's where I am. That's my whole thought process for what's going on with all of the items that I did pre-order from Sterling Inc. for 2024. So that gives you the breakdown. I keep saying it like that. So that gives you the breakdown of all the things that I pre-ordered. And I'm very pleased with the quality of everything that I received. Pleased with the quality. Pleased with the craftsmanship. Pleased with the delivery system and the packaging and all of that. Very pleased with all of that. I'm just displeased with myself and the fact that I just don't know exactly how I'm using everything, and I have to now go through the trouble of offloading these possibly 3 planners that I'm not going to use for 2024. I mean, the demand is pretty high, so I really have no doubt that I'll be able to sell them or share them with someone else down the line. But that's where we are. Here's where we are. And thank you so much for watching my full unboxing of my 2024 Sterling Ink planner haul. I'm really excited to get into these. I've already, like I said, been talking about how I'm gonna, and talking to myself about how I'm gonna be setting this one up compared to my current daily planner and how I'm going to be using it. I'm really excited to be able to use the goals pages in this one in the week size for my health and fitness planner. So I'm really, like I said, pleased with all of them and excited about how I'm going to be using them for the upcoming year. If you want to check out any of the Sterling Ink information, I will have the website linked down below. This was a pre-order. It's not something that's available on the website. And actually, as I'm saying that, by the time this video comes out though, you may be able to order them on the website. And I say may, that's opening November 17th, I believe, off the top of my head. I would assume they're going to sell out pretty fast. That's all I'm saying. So if you're into them, get on it. But like I said, this video may go out after that date. Yeah. Actually, I think this video is going to go up on the 18th of November? No, 19th of November. So they're releasing on the 17th. Good luck and Godspeed. I don't know. But even if you don't find one through Sterling Ink, you will, 1000% will be able to find one on a buy-sell trade group. Do not pay overpriced, prices for these. Just pay like retail plus shipping, honestly. And I know that you will find one. It may not be the cover color that you want. Those are the risks we have to take. But you will be able to find one. Don't go too deep. Don't go too hard. Remember all that consumerism talk. Don't go overboard. But you will be able to find one. And I do hope that you find one if you're looking. Okay, enough rambling on. Thank you so much for watching today's video. And I will see you in the next one.